Good evening, friends. Welcome to USAA. My name is Bill White. I'm your host for this evening, and I'm so glad that you're joining us, where we're going to tonight stress less and retire more. I'm joined on the webinar tonight by some of my best friends at work. Withdrawal, Michael, and Thomas are all helping out. You're going to hear from them tonight, along with a guest appearance by another friend of ours, Tony Garcia. We've been through a lot together as a country over the last few years. And especially in the markets, it's been a turbulent time. There's been lots of volatility. And we know that whether you're living in, planning for, or just thinking about retirement, the volatility and uncertainty can be troubling and difficult to deal with. And that's where retirement income planning and retirement specialists like you're going to hear from tonight come into play. Talking to members of our team about retirement is a benefit of your USAA membership. We are all USAA members. We own this company together. I've been a member of USAA for over 35 years. I'm a retired Navy captain, and I'm proud to be an employee of your association, our company. Now, a few things to talk about tonight. We have some housekeeping items that I want to make sure we inform you about. Tonight's webinar is being recorded, and you will receive an email in the next few days with a link to watch the recording if you'd like to do so, or share it with friends and family. We have a Q&A function, question and answer function. You can use that anytime. Ask your questions. We do have some people who may be able to answer some of those questions live. We might take them offline or talk to you later when you call in or schedule time to talk with us. I'd advise you not to put real personal information in that chat, but you and the panelists are the only ones who will see that information. The other people dialing in tonight will not see what you put in the Q&A. Now, one other thing that's kind of a special thing for today, it just so happens that today is USAA's 101st birthday. It's quite a milestone. And I think it rings true with our theme of planning for retirement. Based on the number of people joining us tonight, and it will be many hundreds of USAA members dialing in from all around the country, a number of us, a number of you will live to 101. That's great news, but it also means that we have to have a plan for retirement. We know that sometimes talking to a professional about that, like Duvall, Michael, Tony, is just the thing. Now, with that, we're going to do a little behind the scenes thing that we'd like to do at USAA called a mission moment. USAA is a different company than any other company on earth. Mission is real, and the military community that we serve is the special center of who we are and what we stand for. We begin all of our meetings with a story, a mission moment, we call it. And it typically falls into one of two categories: a person talking about their military service or that of a family member, or an employee talking about helping a member, whether with a claim, bank account, or retirement income planning. And that's what you're going to hear tonight from my good friend, Tony Garcia. Over to you, Tony.
Thanks so much for that, Bill. I'm really excited. As Bill mentioned, I am a retirement income specialist here on the team at USAA. And I'm excited to share a story today about one of our members who truly benefited from the advice and services that we provide here in the retirement income team. Lately, I've received a lot of calls from members concerned about the recent market volatility. When the other shoe fell in the market last year, it made many members nervous about the amount of risk they're assuming in their portfolios. One member I spoke with, we'll call her Julie, retired early at 57 in the middle of the 2022 market downturn. So it was no surprise when she told me that her biggest concern was suffering investment losses. However, Julie's biggest question was simple but daunting. Now that I've retired, what do I do with all this money? So we worked together to establish her retirement goals and priorities. By getting to know Julie financially, I was able to determine what was important to her and what she needed to be successful. I discovered that she really needed more income to sustain her desired lifestyle. I then used our retirement income strategy tool to present income strategies that would allow Julie to create guaranteed lifetime income that would help her systematically and strategically distribute her assets without the fear of putting her savings at risk or exposing herself to market conditions. This allowed her to live her best retirement now in spite of retiring early. Based upon my recommendation, Julie decided to use a portion of her nest egg to create a lifetime income annuity. The result was an income lifestyle that she had worked her whole life to achieve. She was ecstatic. In fact, Julie was so impressed with our ability to serve her that she referred one of her best friends to me so that we could do for her friend what we had done for her. I share this story because this is a great example of the relationships that we nurture with our members. If you can't tell by now, I really love being an advisor in the retirement income team because I love specializing in advice for our retirees. Tailored advice relationships like this are what sets USAA apart from everyone else. Thanks for letting me share. Back to you, Bill.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Really appreciate you being on the team, and thanks for serving our members like Julie. All right, I didn't warn you about this, but we're going to have, they're not quizzes, these are polls. So we're going to do some polls, and it's a way to generate some Q&A and find out what's on your mind as we have this webinar so that Michael and Duvall can customize some of the content tonight. So here's our first one. When you think about your retirement income, I'm mostly concerned with running out of money over time, uncertainty with market performance, having the freedom to spend what I want, or leaving a legacy. So we'll give you a few seconds to pick your answer, and we'll let you know the results of the poll here in just a moment. All right, looks like we're getting a number of votes. That's great. And it looks like we're going to see the answer in just a moment. Thomas is the one who runs the polls for us. So thank you, Thomas. He's one of our product management directors. And the results. Looks like the number one choice tonight is running out of money over time. Nearly half the people dialing in tonight answered running out of money over time. That's a big deal. It's followed closely. It's almost an exact tie. Uncertainty with market performance and having the freedom to spend what I want. Now, I mentioned at the top of the webinar, USAA is 101 years old today. Americans are living longer than ever, which is amazing. Like, we live in the best country on the planet, and that's one of the reasons, we have members that live a very long time. And what that means is it's important to have a plan and to check it out and renew that plan every year. So thanks for answering those questions. I'm now going to turn it over to Duvall. Duvall works out of our office in Tampa, Florida, and he's going to kick off a little discussion about turbulent times. Over to you, Duvall.
Hey, thank you, Bill. So let's talk about some turbulent times that we've recently seen in our economy and the state of the economy as it deals with retirement accounts. The first one is inflation. Inflation is at top of mind. You can't turn the TV on, pick up a newspaper, or even look at your grocery bill and not think inflation and how much things are costing nowadays. Between 2013 and 2020, we've enjoyed low inflation, anywhere from 0.7 to 2.3%. Last year, inflation took a spike. We hit a all-time high as of now for this of 8%. And this year for 2023, we're seeing it slow down a little bit, but we're still at 4.9% through April, still much higher than we've seen over the past 20 years. The second market event has been market volatility. Market volatility has caused uncertainty and has had impact on retirement accounts. Retirement accounts have fell more than 20% last year in 2022, and retirees have lost close to 23% in 401k savings. And if that wasn't bad enough, between market volatility and inflation, we've also saw some turmoil in the bond market. So we had the worst performing bond market in 2022, down 13%. Conventional wisdom has always told us that bonds are supposed to be safe, conservative, but offer modest returns. But we need to remember bonds have an inverse relationship with the interest rates. Now, next, with economic uncertainty being unsettling, and if you're feeling stressed, you're not alone. We at USAA do check in with our members, and in the most recent surveys that we do every quarter, our 82% of our members said the economy is either headed towards a recession or depression. And some of the words that they use to describe the economy are troubling, inflated, or unpredictable. Many have made a change in their portfolio over the past 6 months. And if the economy and market conditions have you feeling stressed, you're not alone. At USAA, we're feeling the same way. And the closer to retirement, the more stressful it can be. But there's hope. There are steps that you could take and shift and have a conversation with our specialists and what we could do. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to go to Michael Farmer, one of the retirement income specialists, and he's going to talk to you about how we approach this here at USAA.
Thank you so much, Duval. And my name is Michael Farmer. I'm one of the retirement income specialists here at USAA. And in my role, I partner with members as they prepare for transition and also live throughout retirement. And here at USAA, we use our retirement risks framework to help categorize the most common risks to retirement. We can then drill down each risk to better understand and help mitigate them. While there are many risks in our retirement framework, the ones that we've been talking about today fall into the investment risk category. And in this framework, we look at factors such as inflation risk, market volatility risk, and overall asset allocation risk. Risk management is essential and very important as part of an overall retirement plan. And I remind members on a daily basis that the goal of retirement is to stay retired. On the next slide, we're going to look at the road to retirement. In order to better understand the potential impact of these investment risks, let's look at where you might be on your retirement journey. Most of the members that I work with are either preparing for retirement, they're nearing retirement, or they've already been retired for a number of years. The retirement journey can be looked at in two parts: accumulation and distribution. So if we first look at planning for retirement, this is also known as the accumulation phase. And here we're building that retirement nest egg, and the focus is growth. In this stage, the impact of investment risks is lower. And the reason for that is if we experience a 20 or 30% pullback, you still have time to recover and ride out the storm. However, over time, your retirement journey moves to retirement or living in retirement. This is also known as the distribution phase, and the impact of investment risks can be much higher here. If we experience that same 20 or 30% pullback, it can greatly impact retirement and possibly delay retirement. When we're nearing retirement or living in retirement, it's important to address a few key questions, such as how do you protect your retirement savings that you work so hard to accumulate? And how do you turn your savings into lifetime income that will last your entire retirement journey? Your retirement plan should have a withdrawal strategy. This helps determine a safe, sustainable amount of money that you can take out of your portfolio each year, and that has a direct impact on the quality of life in retirement. In the next portion of our webinar, we're going to talk about a few withdrawal strategies and people in the same situation and discuss how each strategy worked out for them. In the meantime, I'm going to transition back to Bill.
Okay, we've got another poll question. Now, this is where we're going to test your knowledge and see who's been studying ahead. Which withdrawal strategy are you using or considering for your retirement savings? 4% rule, bucket strategy, fixed dollar withdrawals, or something else? Or frankly, what are you talking about? There's no perfect answer for everyone. And so we know we've given you a number of choices here. I see the votes coming in. And retirement is very personal. It's a personal journey, and each of the situations are different for our members. It's one of the reasons we like to talk to members one-on-one and talk about their situation. Thomas, how's the voting coming? The results are in. Okay, it's pretty well spread out. We do have a number of folks that are using the 4% rule. That's had some popularity in the press over the last couple of decades, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Bucket strategy is another approach. We do have a number of folks that are saying, what's a withdrawal strategy? Actually, the highest number of votes came for, what is that? And I'll tell you, we talk to members all the time, every day. And That is one of the primary reasons that people call us, is they say, as Deval and Michael talked about, I've gotten to this point, and as we heard from Tony in his mission moment, I have this money. Now what do I do? And that is a very, very important question. All right, so let's hear a little bit more about how we're going to approach this. We're going to do a scenario. We've got twins, brother and sister, Sally and Sam, and we're going to find out how they approach this and what we can learn from it. All right, guys, back to you.
Hey, thank you, Bill. So we'll cover the two common withdrawal strategies, the 4% rule and the safety first approach. And I know there's many other retirement approaches and strategies out there, and our income specialists are more than happy to talk to you about those more in more details when you give us a call here at USAA. But by focusing on these two strategies and bringing them to life, we hope to illustrate some fundamental differences between the withdrawal strategies and how they're impacted by investment risk. So we have Sam and Sally. So Sam and Sally are turning 65 next month, and they're both getting ready for retirement, and both have many commonalities. Both have a $500,000 portfolio with a 50-50 asset allocation of stocks and bonds. Both will be getting an equal amount in their Social Security of $2,500 and total monthly expenses of about $4,500. And for example, we'll use life expectancy of 90 years. So, Michael, how do you talk withdrawal options with our members, and what are some key considerations here?
Yeah, great questions, Deval. So in retirement, many members are looking for a comfortable inflation-adjusted income while balancing the fine line between running out of money and passing away with too much or underutilizing their hard-earned assets. Let's first look at the 4% rule. Since Sam has a moderate risk tolerance, he wants to explore utilizing the 4% rule. This rule of thumb says that a retiree should withdraw 4% of the balance of their retirement savings each year. After the first year, you would then adjust the 4% withdrawal amount for inflation each year. These withdrawals are designed to supplement Social Security and pensions. This rule is widely known, and it might be a good starting point, but it might not necessarily be the right number for everyone. There are many factors to consider as you start to deaccumulate or distribute your retirement portfolio. Risks factors to consider include just choosing a distribution strategy that takes into account one's time horizon, life expectancy, risk tolerance, and level of comfort with volatility, as well as expectations of future market returns and inflation risks. Other factors to take into consideration are healthcare costs, legacy planning, taxes, and any investment fees that you may incur. Members should work with a qualified advisor to develop a withdrawal plan suitable for their situation and comfort level. In the next slide, we're going to apply the 4% rule to Sam's specific situation. Let's go ahead and take a recap of the numbers here. So Sam has $3,000 a month in essential expenses. These are expenses such as utilities, groceries, gas, and other essential needs. Sam also wants to have a little bit of fun in retirement, so he's budgeted $1,500 a month in discretionary expenses. These are expenses such as a few rounds of golf, dining out, and the occasional travel. This takes Sam's total monthly expenditures in retirement to $4,500 a month. Now let's see what Sam has coming in. Sam has Social Security income of $2,500 a month. This creates an income gap for Sam of $2,000 a month, which we need to solve for. If we use the 4% rule and withdraw 4% of Sam's $500,000 portfolio, that would provide $20,000 a year or $1,666 a month. Now keep in mind, Deval, that over time, this amount would need to adjust with inflation and future withdrawals will be larger. If we initially look at the 4% rule, he won't be able to fund all of his expenses in retirement.
So, Michael, if I'm Sam and I see a shortfall, does this mean I got to cut out golfing, traveling, or eating out less?
Yeah, might have to make some changes, and this goes back to the quality of life in retirement. And here at USAA, we want our members to live their best lives in retirement. So let's go ahead and take a look at a different scenario. Let's look at Sam's sister, Sally. So Sally's using the safety first approach. And in the safety first approach, you create an income floor and essential expenses are covered by guaranteed income, which can reduce overdependence on portfolio withdrawals and risk. Common examples of guaranteed income include Social Security, pensions, and income annuities. In this approach, Sally is going to focus mainly on essential expenses and create an income floor of lifetime guaranteed income, which will cover these expenses. Sally does have Social Security, but she does not have a pension, so she'll be using an income annuity to fill any essential income gaps. So let's go ahead and we'll apply the safety first approach to Sally's situation. Again, a recap, Sally has $3,000 a month in essential expenses, and Sally also has $1,500 a month in discretionary expenses. So again, total expenses for both Sam and Sally are $4,500 a month. Sally also receives $2,500 a month from Social Security. Now, where Sally's situation is different is that Sally has $500 a month coming in from an income annuity. Sally used $92,000 of her portfolio to purchase an income annuity. This is an insurance product that will produce $500 a month in guaranteed lifetime income. So now Sally has an income gap of $1,500 a month, which she'll use her portfolio withdrawals to cover. So we've looked at both Sally and Sam, and you might be asking yourself, okay, which strategy is better? So let's look at the two. There are many factors to consider as you enter the distribution phase of retirement. And as retirement income specialists here at USAA, we partner with members to create what's called the USAA Retirement Income Strategy Report as a benefit of your membership. In this report, we'll review your specific situation and provide a personalized strategy which will help you understand your probability of a successful retirement outcome. We learned in an earlier slide that 4% withdrawals would not cover Sam's targeted expenses. And he's now looking at a systematic withdrawal strategy, which actually equates to 4.8% of his first year withdrawal rate to make distributions on his portfolio. Now, with Sally's situation, she has Social Security and she has her monthly $500 annuity payment. So Sally only has an income gap of $1,500 a month, which she'll have to take from her portfolio. Being retirement income specialists, we wanted to roll up our sleeves and run the numbers using the retirement income strategy report. And what this does is this creates a probability of success. And this is the same report we use on a daily basis with members. And the probability of success is a Monte Carlo calculation that shows the ability to fund goals, assuming randomized returns over his or her lifetime. And as you can see here, both Sam and Sally have a very high probability of success. However, you'll notice Sally's is slightly higher. The reason for this is Sally has stable and consistent monthly income, which reduces the reliance on her portfolio withdrawals and ultimately reduces risk in Sally's plan. I'm now going to hand it over to Duvall to further discuss the safety first approach.
And Michael, thank you for walking us through that example. So our goal here is to increase the peace of mind and how the safety first approach manages investment risk. So the first thing the safety first approach does is it mitigates inflation. So income annuity payments are not just withdrawals, but a combination of principal, interest, and mortality credits and provide a higher distribution rate. Because your essential expenses are covered, the remainder of your portfolio can focus on growth to combat inflation. And also remember, Social Security is a key component of this, and it can keep pace with inflation via the cost of living adjustment. Second investment risk is market volatility. Income annuity payments reduce reliance on portfolio withdrawals. This is especially important in a down market. And since essentials are covered by guaranteed income, any adjustment or reduction in withdrawal due to market downturn would reduce only discretionary spending. And lastly, investment risk, we mitigate asset allocation. Income annuities provide guaranteed income even through bear markets, and we can focus on the upside potential of our portfolio. Make sure you work with a financial advisor to invest in growth to keep pace with inflation and hedge against living too long. Now, we're going to go back to Michael to summarize our approach to retirement here at USAA.
Thank you, Duvall. And at USAA, we utilize the safety first approach, and we take a balanced approach to planning for retirement. And this balanced approach consists of three core components. The first being income. We want to make sure our members have enough guaranteed income sources to meet their essential expenses, sources such as Social Security, pensions, and annuities. The second is a growth component. That's your diversified investment portfolio for long-term capital appreciation. And finally, protection. We want to manage ongoing risks to your retirement plan, and it's important to review your financial plan on an annual basis, regardless of where you're at in your retirement journey. Remember that retirement can last over 30 years. We might want our members to live their best lives throughout retirement. I'm now going to hand it back over to Bill.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Duvall. Great conversation. Our last webinar, we actually did cover a lot about Social Security. That was one of our big topics. It's available on YouTube. I don't think we were planning to send that link out in our email. We'll see. Maybe we can send them both. I'm assigning the team work in real time. Sorry about that. We'll see what we can do. But great job. I really love hearing the conversation between Michael and Duvall. And we have conversations like that a lot in the office. And we talk about individual member situations and how we would handle them and what we learn each time we talk to them. You'll see on your screen several ways to talk to us. It's a QR code on the left-hand side, and you can use that to go right to our digital property to schedule a call. So 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, we have scheduled hours where folks like Michael will have a scheduled time to call you and your spouse, if that's what you'd like, and talk about your personal retirement plan. And our members really like this a lot. It's a great feature. You can also go directly to our website to sign up for that. We do have some of Michael's teammates standing by right now. If you want to call in, we know a number of you are probably thinking that's not what I want to do tonight at this hour of the evening, and that's totally fine, which is why we'd love you to schedule time with us. But if you do have a burning question that you want to get to one of our specialists, you can do that. The chat is lighting up, the Q&A, and we have several of our specialists who are answering a number of those questions live. Thomas is curating that. So as I'm talking, he's kind of running through the Q&A, and he's going to toss a few of those questions to me, and our panel and I will attempt to answer them. So I really appreciate your time tonight. If you can stick around for a little Q&A, throw one of your questions in there. It's one of the best ways you can tell us what's on your mind and help us prepare for our next webinar. So Thomas, what do the members have to ask us tonight? What's on their minds?
Yeah, absolutely. So Duvall, we'll go to you for the first question of the evening.
Right.
It is related to Social Security. Bill was mentioning that we saw a couple questions in chat about that. What can USAA and our retirement income team do to help our members walk through that Social Security claiming strategy and really kind of help them determine what that income floor will be, something that we saw in the scenarios earlier?
Yeah, absolutely. So working with my team, so what my team can do is when a member calls in, we can take them to the Social Security website, kind of see what their payouts could be potentially from Social Security. And if there's a gap in what they need to in retirement and between Social Security, our team can illustrate for the members how much they would need to put into an income annuity to make sure they're living their best retirement. To get the best answer, I would recommend for our members to call in and talk to one of our specialists like Michael, and he could get a personalized plan for you. And we do post them onto your USA website. And so you can view that right there.
Awesome. Thank you, Duvall. All right, Michael, we'll come back to you for one. This is something that we slightly mentioned, but let's go back to the 101 here. Could you help explain what is an annuity?
Yeah, most certainly. So an annuity is a contract between an individual and a life insurance company. And an income annuity particularly will provide a fixed payout for one's lifetime. It can be for a lifetime or for a fixed period of time. And the benefit there is that it helps manage both sequence of returns risk, which is the risk of turbulent markets, and also it helps manage longevity risk, so the risk of outliving your assets.
Great
Hey,
answer.
Michael, it's Bill. Let's give maybe a generic example of one of those income annuities where let's take Sally, because she was in our example. So when Sally puts in her $92,000, let me ask you two questions. Okay. First one is, can she have her $92,000 back whenever she wants it? That's question one. The second one is, let's say that Sally is single and she's naming her brother, Sam, as the beneficiary, and she dies 7 years from now, like in a typical scenario when you talk to members. Can you answer those two questions in her scenario?
Yeah, those are fantastic questions, Bill. So the first part of your question is that Sally would, in this scenario, so we were looking at Sally having paying $92,000 for $500 a month in lifetime income. So that would be irrevocable, but that would be a lifetime stream of income. And then Sally also has the ability on there to add a beneficiary. So there are payout options where if Sally were to pass away prematurely, the remainder of the payments would go to a stated beneficiary. And in these particular payouts, there also is the ability where once everything is paid out, Sally would then have income for the rest of her life.
And I think what's really important there, ladies and gentlemen, is, Sally, none of us know how long we're going to live. And if Sally lives to 101, like USAA's anniversary today, her payment would continue until she's 101. And that's a long time. But if she were to die before, let's say, 10 years, her brother would receive, say, 3 more years of payments, and then they would stop. So that's how the insurance aspect of this works. She can't have her money back immediately. She gets it a month at a time. She gets money as long as she lives, even if it's a very, very, very long time. That's the insurance. And also the insurance is if she dies prematurely, then one of her family members, her stated beneficiary, as Michael said, would receive the remainder of the payments. So it's an insurance contract. It's not for everyone. I did see a question in the chat. Some of our members have large military pensions that covers all of their essential expenses, covers all of them and more. And that is a form of an annuity from the government, from their military service. And so members like that call in, have plans with us, and we have conversations with them and say, hey, look like you're doing great, right? You don't need a thing from us. And I'll tie it to another question that was in the Q&A. Do we charge for this? And in that case, no, absolutely not. There's no fee for this service. So if you call in and you say, great, looks like I'm doing fine. I don't need any products from you. I just wanted to have a nice conversation and make sure that my family and I were on track. That's great. That's a service we provide as part of your USAA membership. Thomas, what else is on people's minds tonight?
It's a perfect segue to a question we just received. What should a member do in preparation for a call with the USAA retirement specialist? Duvall, do you want to take that one for us?
Yes, absolutely. So easiest thing, what we have is actually we have a list on USA.com. If you go to USA.com, and you don't even have to log into your account. And if you go up top and hit retirement, annuities, we actually have a checklist right there. It's called a retirement planning worksheet. And on that worksheet, there are questions on there that you could fill out beforehand. And when you call in and get in specialists like Tony or Michael, they will walk you through that. They'll collect the answers and build your plan from that.
Awesome. Thank you, Duvall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Michael, let's go back to some annuity product questions. We mentioned that annuities and the safety first approach can help combat inflation. Could you walk through if an annuity is a fixed income amount and it always stays that amount, how does it keep up with inflation again? Can we touch more on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's a question that I get a lot as a retirement income specialist. So the idea of the annuity is to provide that guaranteed, consistent, monthly, predictable income. And you're correct, if it's a fixed payment, over time, the cost of goods and services are going to go up. So there's a few different aspects to look at. First, if we are receiving Social Security or pensions with inflation adjustments, that helps in terms of bringing up just your overall total income over time. Another strategy that we can look at is going back to the balanced approach. Remember, we have that growth component. And on the growth component, we're going to have exposure to stocks and bonds, which by having exposure to stocks, you have indirect exposure to the cost of goods and services. So let's say 10, 15, 20 years into our retirement journey, we want a pay increase. We always can move assets out of the growth component and buy an additional income source, essentially creating an income bump in retirement.
That makes sense. Thank you, Michael. All right, Duvall, this one should be pretty straightforward. Got a couple questions. If an annuity is an insurance product, not like a bank product that has FDIC insurance, what insurance, if you will, protects the solvency for a member's annuity?
Oh, absolutely. So we are an insurance company and we do have our rating. So your annuity, it is backed by USA's credit worthiness. And that's how all annuity life insurance products work. It is backed by the worthiness of that organization.
And I'll comment on that as well. Thanks, Deval. You can find our financial strength ratings on our website. USAA and several other small number of insurance companies in the United States have the highest available financial strength ratings from our rating agencies. I'll just say that one more time. USAA and several other very good companies have the highest financial strength ratings. I personally brief the rating agencies each year, along with my boss, the president of the life insurance company, our chief actuary, chief risk officer, and our chief investment officer. We spend time with them each quarter. Our CFO talks to our rating agencies every quarter, and USAA is proud of what we call our fortress balance sheet. So we are here for 101 years. We're 99 more for second century, and I think we're looking pretty good for 101 years, and we're proud to serve members. But your money is backed by the financial strength of USAA.
Bill, while we have you, got another question for you. In regards to our investment journey at USAA here in Life Company, could you talk about how we still have annuities here? What happened with Victory Capital and Charles Schwab? Could you share more on that?
Absolutely. Thanks, Thomas. So a number of you know, and because your money invested with USAA had 2 transactions over the last couple of years. We maintain our relationships with Victory Capital and Charles Schwab. If you call in and talk to Michael or his teammates and you need professional investment advice, they will refer you by phone to Charles Schwab. And if you come onto our digital properties, the same thing will happen. For 529 college savings, we will refer you to Victory Capital. Charles Schwab and Victory are fine companies. I manage the relationship with them. I'm the president. I have 2 hats. I'm a senior vice president in the life company, and I'm also the president of our investment services company, our broker dealer and investment advisor. So I'm responsible for that relationship. And we're proud to do business with them and to refer you to them for professional investment advice.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, Michael, we'll come back to you here. So in the scenario that we had earlier for Sally, there was that $95,000 income annuity. How did we come up with the $95,000 amount, or how would you come up with that amount for a member when you're working through their retirement income plan?
Yeah, great question, Thomas. And that goes back to financial planning. It's really important to look at essential expenses and discretionary expenses. And so when we do the retirement income strategy, that is one of the questions that we cover. And we pride ourselves in being able to meet one-on-one with members over the phone and go through all of their monthly expenses. When we, and there was actually a question earlier saying, what do I need to do to prepare for a retirement income strategy? And that's one of the things. It's a good idea to just go by line item all of your expenses, and then we can actually review those with each member and determine essential expenses versus discretionary expenses. And in that example, what we were looking at doing is utilizing an income annuity to make sure that members can take care of their essential expenses. And everyone's situation is going to be different.
Thank you for that. All right, Deval, got a couple questions on fees. So we've got product fees, if you will, or advisory fees, or kind of the fees for the consultation with Michael and others. Could you share about what product fees we have for annuities here at USAA?
Thank you for calling USAA.
For product fees, or what's the cost for having a conversation to go over your retirement income plan?
Yeah, absolutely, Thomas. So when you call in and talk to our advisors, there's not a fee passed on to the membership. The conversation and the planning with Michael is part of your membership here at USAA. And with the products, again, the annuity, it is a insurance product. It is not, and with the insurance product, there's not a management fee that is there with the annuity.
And Bill, somewhat related, how are our specialists then compensated for those conversations and how they help members?
Sure thing. So our specialists like Michael and managers like Duvall have a salary, a base salary, and we have a 401k program with a generous matching. And all of us, all of our employees, myself included, are rewarded at the end of the year based on the performance of USAA as an enterprise, like all of USAA, and also our life insurance company that the 5 of us here work for. So it's really a base salary. And then if the whole company does well, serving members, and it's based not only on our financial performance, but equally importantly, how well we serve members and how when you rate us, we have a thing where you can answer a question about how did Michael do on this call, 1 to 10. And the more times we get 9s and 10s, things like that, we receive a little stipend at the end of the year for that as well.
Thank you for that. All right, Michael, let's go back to withdrawal strategies. So we outlined a few. So we had safety first, we had the 4% rule, there's also the bucket strategy. Could you touch on some of those other withdrawal strategies and kind of at a high level detail what they are?
Yeah, so there's a few different withdrawal strategies in addition, and everyone's situation is different. Some members may want to utilize an all fixed income portfolio. Others may want to use other income producing securities, but really it all depends on one's appetite for risk. Also, it depends on where they're at in their retirement journey, and there's just so many different factors to take into consideration when looking at a withdrawal strategy. And as I was mentioning before, going back to the 2 stages, accumulation and distribution. Accumulation, it's fairly simple. We just want to try and grow our assets over the long term and keep building that nest egg. But when we get into distribution, there's so many different factors at play. And that's why it's important to have just a one-on-one conversation with one of our specialists here at USAA.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. All right, we're getting pretty close to time here, so maybe one more team, and then we'll let you close, Bill. So Duvall, I'll let you take this one for the end. Is there hope if you're already in retirement and you're still fortunate to have an early retirement of like, say, 53, 50, under 60, kind of what are your options for retirement income planning if you hope to retire early or have already retired early?
So Thomas, so the question is, if you have already retired or living in retirement and you retired early, is there still hope to have a proper retirement and meeting, playing golf, going out to eat and traveling, so making sure there's enough money? Absolutely, absolutely. That's the whole beautiful part about financial planning, right? It's we take what's there and we mold it to fit you. When I was practicing financial planning, right, members would call in and there will be some adjustments we need to make, but we got to figure out what is your goal? What do you care for more? What do you love more in retirement, right? And sometimes sacrifices do have to be made, but I know our specialists have think outside the box and making sure that all the wishes of the members are met. And that could go any way. So that I highly recommend you call in, speak to one of our specialists. And because there are some situations where you can retire early and it's a wonderful thing, right? And we want to make sure that you have a happy retirement.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, team, for the lively Q&A. And Bill, I'll turn it over to you for closing.
Thanks, Thomas. Duvall, Michael, great job tonight. Thomas, thanks for curating the Q&A. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for inviting us into your lives and into your homes to spend time talking about a very important topic, retirement, very personal to each one of us. And whether you're planning for retirement right around the corner, whether it's a long way off, whether you've been in retirement for a while, give us a call. We'd like to check in on you. This is a benefit of membership. We are all members. We own this company together, and USAA is here to serve military families. Thank you for your time tonight. We'll see you next time.